American voters earlier, didn't we? And what about Elon Musk in terms of his own personal brand? Well, Josh Wheeler is a PR expert from the PR consultancy B Broadcast. So shall we start with, let's start with the tech billionaire Elon Musk. What do you think that this has done in terms of how people view him and his image?
Right, Virginie, thank you so much. I think for Elon, this is a double-edged sword, really. I think on the one hand, he looks reckless. He looks volatile. Your colleague Paul talked about the money that was wiped off Tesla's valuation in a day. That takes some good going. I think that on the other hand, we have his work that he does for X. So formerly Twitter, and actually really where I think a lot of us really picked up on who Elon was, this champion of quote unquote free speech, getting the truth out there, being one of those kind of bastions for all of those important elements. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. And this is why I think it's in a way it's working to his favor. I think he might think that X is this kind of powerhouse, the new town center of discussion around this point. It's the question of how much does he care about Tesla that is impacting him, and similarly SpaceX and the potential calls and loss of contracts that are worth huge amounts to that company. So it's a really interesting thing. He's such a polarizing character, but he has so many different dimensions to him that on the one hand this is an absolute nightmare for him, and on the other hand it kind of works in his favor.
Let's talk about the US president then. How does that affect his standing?
His standing, I think that it's an interesting one, because actually they have parallels in terms of their story. So if we think back a decade, Trump was kind of similar, this sort of maverick character, shaking up politics, doing things in a way that we would never expect. And for some people, I think they'll be looking at this as almost entertainment, which is, that's Trump's heritage background, The Apprentice. It's an entertainment show. And that's why he's done so well. I think now, in his second term, he's almost having to act, in a sense, statesman-like. And so this volatility, this battle, this challenge, actually makes Trump look weakened. He's losing, or pretty much lost, a key ally that was there to reinforce his pro-business angle. And when you start to have these two issues collide, so this volatility, this loss of what people voted for, credibility within the leadership starts to collapse. And I think outside of America, if we look at the fact that we're talking about this here, and this is going to have ramifications across the entire world, right now foreign policies is vital. And I think some of the foes that the West faces are looking at this and kind of rubbing their hands with glee to an extent, because they're thinking, the leadership in the US is in chaos.
Josh, thank you. Josh Wheeler is a PR expert from B Broadcast. And I'm really interested in what he said at the end there. What are you thinking looking on in? There are countries around the world viewing this and taking a stand. But as someone who's listening today, what do you make of this really public falling out? Of course, if you have a view on Elon Musk and Donald Trump and what they've been saying over the last 24 hours, do pick up the phone 0808 100 9111.